Hey everyone, welcome to the fifth meeting of the AHS MAAPP Club.
MAAPP stands for the Manenberg Rhodesia AIDS and Peace Project. We are committed to spreading awareness about HIV/AIDS and peace in our community and school.
We will cover topics such as the quote of the day, current events in HIV/AIDS, current events in South Africa, our peace portion of the club, new cabinet positions, our social media handles, the MAAPP magazine issue 3, and an update on our fundraiser, which was with Shirty.
Quote of the day.
Must accept infinite disappointment, but never lose infinite hope, by Martin Luther King Jr.
A good one.
HIV/AIDS. A study conducted by Columbia University Mailman School of Public Health researchers found attitudes toward long-acting injectables, or LAI, HIV therapies from women with a history of injections. Women who preferred LAI had a history of periodic injectable medication, while women who had a history of frequent injection felt fear or familiarity from the needles. Health professionals are working to identify which women need LAI and which women might be better candidates for a daily pill. In Cape Town, the Unemployment Insurance Fund, UIF, saw snaking lines as hundreds of people came in search of financial relief. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, businesses closed down and people's incomes have been cut. The UIF gives short-term relief to workers that are unemployed or unable to work. The African News Agency, or ANA, reached out to the UIF for their lack of service, but got no response.
Does anybody have any questions on these two topics? None? So now we are on the peace topic. So just a reminder that we do not have school on the 18th, which is this coming Monday, because it is MLK Day. We usually have a protest or a walk, but this year that will not be happening.
And do I start now?
Yeah.
And so in honor of Dr. King's birthday, which would be Monday, normally that's going to be, if we're not doing something, a day of service. But many people, since we're all online, many people don't realize that Dr. King was not just about desegregating and race relations and the Voting Rights Act, but also a very strong advocate for peace and no war. So in his honor, we are highlighting the humanitarian crisis in Yemen. In Yemen, we're going to look at this is the largest, United Nations has declared this the largest humanitarian crisis going on. We're going to go over why that is happening. First, let's find out where Yemen is. I'm going to get the maps up there. And once we know where we're going here, you can see the US is in yellow, and then that's on the continent's west. And as we go to Europe and look at the Middle East, which is our next slide, you'll see where Yemen is. Most people don't know where it is. There you go. You can see it's the brown area highlighted with the circle under Saudi Arabia. This whole section here is what they call the Middle East, where our troops are in Iraq and Afghanistan. Israel, of course, one of the biggest people in the news. But let's take a focus on Saudi Arabia and find out why this is such a horrible situation in Yemen and how it started. Well, right now, about 40% of the children in Yemen are stunted. That means they're not growing. There's been a problem for a while. They're suffering from famine. 1 in 4 people have COVID and die from it. Not like here at all. And they don't have access to clean water. So how did it get to this point? The way a lot of wars do. The government fell in Yemen in 2014, so the two superpowers in the area have decided to take sides and try to influence the new government. Right now, the new government, you can see in Yemen, is right below Saudi Arabia. They're very concerned. So Saudi Arabia is U.S. ally. they are bombing a lot in Yemen when the Houthis, a rebel group, decided to challenge that government. Right now, the Houthis have more than 70% control of the government, very much like the Taliban had control of Afghanistan and still does most of it. So you have that issue. Now you have Iran, which is not, I don't know if you can see it on this map. Iran is a very large country. You can see it's right above Saudi Arabia. I see it now. And Iran, no, you can't see, that's Iraq. Oh, wait. Well, anyway, Iran and Saudi Arabia are concerned about the government in Yemen. Iran would like to help the Houthis. Saudi Arabia wants to help the current government. And the way they're doing that is bombing a lot. And who suffers from war? We know this. Mostly women and children and innocent civilians. So just now, the government, our U.S. government has declared Yemen a terrorist country. And by doing that, they blockade everything. Saudi Arabia has already blockaded all humanitarian aid. But now, all other countries that do business, since the U.S. is declaring it a terrorist country, they can't use our banks. We can't even use our own banks to help out in this crisis or give them any kind of aid. So our goal today, and we're going to ask for everybody to participate in this part, if you will, is to decide whether we want to get MAAPP's name on a list with other people. You want to show that list? Over 180 people have signed up on this list petition. Oh, sorry. Here's a picture of some of what's going on in Yemen. In Yemen, there's a humanitarian crisis. What happens? The civilians leave. They live in huts. They live in tents all over the place. And that's the picture you saw. So on January 25th, we're calling it, they are declaring it a Global Day of Action. And what you're seeing here is a list of all the organizations that are signing this petition, asking for the blockade to stop and for Saudi Arabia to stop bombing Yemen, and also for us to stop supplying Saudi Arabia with arms. These wars would not continue if we were not paying for and providing the ammunition, and the bombing is a horrible air bombing campaign that's killing many Yemenis, again, mostly women and children. Are there any questions? Since the war began, over 250,000 people have died from all these different reasons. If there's no questions, we would like to take a vote because we're very limited on the time. So
Miss Pat, can I just make a comment first?
Sure.
I think this would be wonderful for us to support, but I do think if we're going to use MAAPP on the list, we should check with Manenberg. So somehow reach out to them, and I believe they would be in 100% support, but I think it would be appropriate to at least reach out to MAAPP and get their okay, since they're the M in MAAPP.
Does anybody disagree? Okay, so I'm going to show you how to vote, and I don't see the chat here. If there's no disagreements, I'll wait another second. I'm going to demonstrate how, and you've seen this probably maybe in a government class or a student council. I'm going to demonstrate how we vote on something, but we're going to try and do it online. So first we ask for somebody to make a motion, and that would not be the chair. So since Sai and JP are leading this, I'll make the motion, and then I'm going to ask, like the chair would, for a second. That means somebody says, I agree. Once we get an agreement, then we'll call for the vote, a discussion, and then a vote. So I'm going to start with the motion. This is something we need to vote on before we get our name added to this list, and I'll make sure the motion says exactly what Mr. Saldana said. So I make a motion that the MAAPP Club, once it receives approval from Manenberg, puts their name on the Global Days of Action list, saying that we support humanitarian aid for Yemen, asking Saudi Arabia not to stop bombing, and removing the blockade that keeps people from providing humanitarian aid, and stop arming the Saudis, which are bombing Yemen.
Oh, okay. That is a very amazing cause. I would love to participate in. How about we call individual names and then we ask them what their opinion is on it? And
First, we need a second. To make it a vote, you have to second. So we need a second person in the group to say, I second that, I agree, we should vote on this.
I second that.
Okay,
We
so
should
it's been
vote on
moved and seconded. And this is normally what you would say.
Mhm.
It's been moved and seconded that we support and put our name on there with Vandenberg's approval. Now the discussion. Go ahead, Sai.
Okay, so the first is Ashley Robles. So Ashley, what do you think? What should we sign up for this?
Yes, I think we should sign up for it. It definitely is a good cause to help other people and to spread peace, and that's a part of our club, so I think we should.
Dana?
Yeah, I support the cause. I think it'd be a great opportunity to help people, especially people on the other side of the world.
Yeah, totally. Miss Clamore?
Yes, I agree because if war is bad at all, but women and children, come on now.
Gabriela?
I agree because I think it's a great way to help people from across the world.
I would like to add something to the discussion. The blockade we want removed because this keeps any country from being, including the U.S., from using our banks. Our humanitarian organizations cannot use the U.S. banks, and it prevents any other country from providing humanitarian aid. They need the medicine. They need all the bandages and other things you need for healthcare. If there's no more comments because of time, we need to call this to a vote. How many? There's 14 or 15 people able to vote, right? I'm sorry.
I feel like, how about everybody just unmute and then tell us if you do not want to vote?
So we'll need 15 votes to, I'm sorry, half of 15 would be 7 votes. I'm sorry, 8 votes to make a majority to pass. So go ahead.
So everybody is in full support of this motion.
Going once, going twice, and I guess it's official now, right?
Pass.
Got
With
it.
the approval, with the approval of Mandenberg, and also want to know who's going to ask that person, ask someone from Mandenberg if it's okay to use their name. Perhaps we could just put Artesia High School Peace Club if they say no. And I also want to mention anybody can get more information by looking up and being proud to see our name up there soon, hopefully, under Global Days of Action /Yemen. Thank you all. Happy Dr. King Day.
I'm assume it's going to be Sai who's going to ask. But you need to make sure you give them links to look it up. So Miss Pat just, gave us a lot of information, but you need to provide links for them before they do it. And we don't have an official separate AHS Peace Club, right, Mr. Saldana? So I don't know if we could actually put that as our name if they decline, since it's not really an official club.
That would be correct. I think if they did, it would be a matter of us just answering their questions. But I think let's just first reach out to them, and I think that they will be amenable to this. But you are correct, Ms. Clamore. We only have a MAAPP club.
Yeah, so I will run it by them on WhatsApp, and if they decline, I will tell you and Mr. Saldana, Ms. Lamore.
Also, January 25th is the official day. Please look on the website for actions you can take as a citizen, regardless of your age, but you should be doing that after school. Thank you. Bravo.
Wait, Sai, we forgot the peace topic.
Global Days of Action, January 21st.
I do not think we have enough time to have an open discussion about the riots. If we do have time at the end, we can all say our opinions and discuss that. But
Sai, can I just make one more suggestion? Since the deadline is the 25th, maybe we could just meet briefly next Tuesday so that we all know whether what Mannenberg's reply was.
Yeah. I was actually wondering if we could meet every Tuesday because of online school, we might not be able to cover all the topics or have open discussions. Everybody might not be able to say how they feel. So what are your thoughts on meeting every Tuesday?
Well, let's meet the next 2 Tuesdays. We'll add next week, and then we'll kind of reevaluate it at our regular meeting in 2 Tuesdays. But we'll meet next Tuesday if you guys would like.
Please be there, everybody, because the discussion on the riots in DC are so important. I know a lot of us have strong feelings about it, so that'd be a good place to really flesh it out and air out what we're thinking on the DC riots.
And we do have new cabinet positions. They will all be displayed on Google Classroom. If you know anybody who might be interested or you might be interested yourself, please contact JP or I.
These are the codes for social media. Remind Instagram or Twitter, and everything should be in Google Classroom. We also have WhatsApp. If you guys don't have the link, just can email me. And we have a YouTube channel, so make sure you follow our social media.
Magali, should I send this recording to you as well as Sai? And I was wondering how you were going to post the recording. Is that on WhatsApp or another platform?
I'm supposed to post it?
Oh, I was gonna post it on WhatsApp for Mannenberg.
Great. Thank you both.
And we do have a new membership officer or a new cabinet position member, Liani Taylor, who is the new chat monitor.
Yeah.
Do I read my thing, Sai?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Leonie Taylor. I'm a freshman at Tita High School and I'm 14 years old. I run track and field. My favorite race is the 400 meters. I'm currently taking a college history class through Cerritos College. I love working with kids and I want to become a pediatrician or a teacher. I like to sing and watch Netflix. I am also the chat monitor.
That is amazing. We're glad to have you. So thank you to our wonderful education officer, Dana, for always being on time and making the 3rd issue of MAAPP magazine. It is available always under the classwork section of Google Classroom under MAAPP magazine. You can find it right over here. And it talks about many important topics that we may not have been able to cover in the actual meetings.
Sai and Dana, that is a wonderful magazine. I've looked at it, so thank you so much for putting it together, Dana. And do you want to maybe also add that to WhatsApp? Is that possible? The video and the magazine?
Dana, what do you think?
Yeah, that's okay.
So we did have a very successful boba fundraiser. JP will explain what has happened.
Thank you, Sai. Thank you for all making this possible. Without you guys, we couldn't have raised over $75 for Long Beach HIV Foods Bank and socks for Mannenberg, South Africa. In addition to the donations and charity profits, hundreds of masks and socks will be donated through Riley and Portia. So again, thank you all for making this possible. And yeah, that's it. Thank you so much.
Did we deposit the funds with Miss Rivas at school?
We did not yet. We were going to discuss that with you right after this meeting.
Okay.
And that is the end of our meeting. See y'all on January 26th. The link to the petition. Never mind that, actually.
See you next week.
Yeah, that's for next week. You guys got a sneak peek. But yeah, thank y'all for joining. See y'all next time.
Thank you,
Bye,
guys.
everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Congratulations, everybody, on your Global Day of Action. You're in.
Thank you, Miss Pat.